Alright, hey guys, and welcome to Blood Bowl 2. It's a little hard to tell the second one from the way they went with the 2 here with the little slashes, but I kind of dig it. Before I get started here, I'm going to do my full disclosure. I'm taking a look at this with a review copy I received from a third-party PR firm. I don't know anybody at the developers, Cyanide Studios, or the publishers, Focus Home Interactive, or at Games Workshop. So that's where my biases lie. I think that that's everything I need to say before we can go in. So let's jump on in here while we connect to the servers. So, if you know nothing about Blood Bowl, what is Blood Bowl about? Blood Bowl is a... I'm trying to think of...
I'll tell you how long we've been waiting.
Thanks for interrupting,
Welcome
Bob.
back, at long last, to Cabal Vision HD.
You done? Okay, thanks. Okay, so what is Blood Bowl if you've never played Blood Bowl? Blood Bowl is a merger of Games Workshop's Warhammer Fantasy license, their intellectual property, and with American football in a visceral, gory, and hilarious way. So the game came out on Tuesday. It's retailing for $50 Canadian. I don't know what the American price is. My guess would be $40 American, but don't quote me on that if it ends up being $45 or something and Steam's messing with you. I have to pay $50 if I want it here in Canada, so that's what it costs. That's the price I'm giving you. Anyway, I have no familiarity with the previous Blood Bowl digital game outside of watching maybe a couple videos on YouTube of people playing it. I have no familiarity with Games Workshop's Blood Bowl, which I don't know if it's a different rule set or if it's a board game or what exactly. I imagine it's just a different rule set for your Warhammer Fantasy models, but I could be wrong. I do have a little bit of familiarity with Warhammer. I played 40k for a couple years. I haven't played it in a long time. I still have all the models lying around somewhere though. And because it's a game, there's a tactical element to it. It plays like a... I wish you wouldn't interrupt me. Like, yes, your dialogue is amazing, but please don't interrupt. Okay, thank you. I play a lot of tactical games in my spare time, play a couple on the channel. Blood Bowl, it scratches that itch just enough that I really like it because it's football, sure, but it's football like on a grid and you have to move everybody one at a time. It's like a chess version of football with fantasy races. I'm going to go through just to show off all the different settings you get. You can turn on cutscenes on or off or only on touchdowns. I've got them off just to save time. I've got the match camera set up the way it was in Blood Bowl 1, which is where it's straight on. The default is the Blood Bowl 2, where it's at a slight isometric angle. I just prefer the Blood Bowl 1 angle. Control mode, I've left it on Blood Bowl 2. I've heard some people complaining about how the Blood Bowl 2 control mode is compared to the previous game. I don't have a huge problem with it. There's once in a while where I click off a guy and it still didn't work or whatever. It's not... It's kind of annoying once in a while, but it's not ridiculous. You can control it with a gamepad, but I haven't tried them. Let's see what the gamepad controls. Sensitivity of input.
Not sure
I don't know what the controls are, and honestly, I would use a mouse.
Fire the wizard.
It's like a small methodical thing
Set fire.
until the timer,
Transmitting to your crystal
screws you up.
globe receiver and get you another one.
I'm just going to let the vampire... Okay. You can English audio, French audio. Those are your only options. I don't know if that's the Canadian edition thing. Since it's a European property, Games Workshop's from England, if I'm not mistaken, I would imagine there would have been more audio, but maybe it's only if you're in European. I've got the volume turned down pretty low. You should be able to still hear it in the background. There's volume sliders. You can change your coach image. I went with the skeleton man here, but there's a couple others for different races. And I've got graphics on low, and it still looks really good, so I think they were on high by default. Maybe they're on normal by default. I turned them down just for recording purposes. I've got the resolution down for recording purposes, but I was playing it at 1920 by 1080. It worked great. I was playing on at least normal. I don't know if I was playing on high or not, but I've got them on low for recording. I also was playing with spectators and grass on, but I've turned them off just for recording to kind of lessen the load on my CPU. Cabal TV is where you can see replays of your matches, or you can search for replays of a live match. I'm not going to do any of that. There's a team and league management here. I'll go into that in a minute. You've got friendly matches where you can play on local with somebody else. I guess they could pick up a controller, or it would switch off between turns, and you'd probably have the entire field rotate. I haven't tried it yet, but I might try some of it maybe this weekend with some people over. Or you can play online, invite a friend, which is really sweet. Also to note here, there are no long-term impacts. No injuries, no SPPs, nothing like that. Playing a league campaign. I'm going to start with a campaign because this is one of the big features of Blood Bowl 2 that I'm under the impression was not in Blood Bowl 1. And that is that there's a single-player campaign. I'm on match 6, and I'm 33% of the way through. So I've done 5 matches, I'm a third of the way through the game, so I'm guessing there's 15 matches. And how it works is you go in, and then it does a really solid job of tutorializing the game. Your first match, none of the player stats matter except for movement. So you can learn, okay, so I can move guys here, here, and here. You go into the second match, they teach you about strength and having to do rolls to have different effects. Then they teach you about agility, which affects your miss chances for different things, which for the first 2 matches, there was no miss chance. For the first match, there was no rolling. You just always knocked the guy down. Then they teach you agility. Now suddenly there's miss chance. Then they teach you about armor value, and now there's injuries and KOs and stuff. Well, actually, I think there were always KOs. Now there's injuries. I think characters can die at that point, but I'm not sure. I was never fortunate enough to kill one of my opponents. And I think from the last match as well, they started adding challenges. In the last one, it was injure 3 guys. Which is actually injure 4 guys because they used an apothecary to negate the first one. That doesn't matter. And what it was it gave you a star player. It was the star player issues you a challenge to see if you can manage the team well. And you succeed, and then he's on the bench, and at the half you can bring him, or after a touchdown you can bring him in and trade him out for one of your loser jerks. So you can click on the shields and you can do your team management here. And this is the same interface. I've got, basically there's a star player there who gets you the challenge. I don't know if I can change that. No, that looks like it's default. This is, you have to play as humans. They are always the Reichland Reavers. You do get to pick the names of your characters, which I don't know how well it's going to show up in the video given my resolution and stuff, but I tried to go for pun names because that's the best part of this sort of thing, is being able to name your characters all dumb names like Seymour Butts, and who's another one here that's really good? Alcohol, I really like. Artichoke is also another good one. He's made a lot of touchdowns, surprisingly. You can hire different staff. I'm actually going to buy rerolls because they're like the most valuable thing. Apothecary you can have one of. You can buy cheerleaders. I haven't been able to buy them yet. I assume they're going to tutorialize cheerleaders, coach assistants, and fan factories in one of the upcoming matches.
Don't forget that
there's sponsors and enhancements and stadiums that you can upgrade and stuff, but in the campaign you don't do any of that right now. So I do want to show off some gameplay. Before that, I want to talk about playing in a league. So this is, sure, campaign is nice. It's great. You can play friendly matches against the AI as well, I'm pretty sure. Maybe local is just AI. Maybe that's what local is. Because I know you can play against the AI. I haven't done it, but I know you can. But playing in a league, that's where Blood Bowl really shines. You get a couple friends together, you all pick up Blood Bowl on Steam, or I think it's also available on PS4 and Xbox One. You start a league. I don't think... Yeah, so I can say these guys here, this is my team, Wino Vampire accounts. I'll get into that in a minute. As soon as, okay, here. I want to, yeah, it's not registered in a league, so I could join a league. I'm going to start a solo league here. And I guess I get to pick the different league. Yeah, custom league, so we can choose how the matches are going to work out. So phase 1 will have a round robin of 4 groups. Oops. No, we don't want knockout. We want round robin, 4 groups. We have 8 teams. 4 of them qualified. Round robin, and then you go to a phase 2 where you have another run, and then you go to the knockout. This would be like the playoffs at the end. where you would have just one group of pop-ups from useless junk here, sorry. Where everybody goes to the playoffs there. And then, so you can build your own format, you can mess around with this, there's round robin. It's just round robin and knockout, but you can like, if you only want 2 phases, you can just go here. If you don't have enough friends, you can just, if you got just 4 of you together, you can do a 4-team one. And then...
It isn't. Then why should my...
Number of teams qualified in phase 1 does not match number of teams taken by the next. I'll admit, I know lots about... Okay, I know very little about Warhammer Fantasy. Enough to get by. If you knew nothing about Warhammer Fantasy, you could get by completely fine. It's basically just Tolkien Fantasy with a couple additions. I know nothing really about Blood Bowl outside of the couple hours I put into the game. Most of what I know about this game comes in me knowing tactics. I know absolutely nothing about American football, and I love it. So, forgive me if everything about League makes no sense to me. But I know that it's a lot of fun, and it's why you want to play Blood Bowl. Is you get some friends together, you start up a league, and you go through, because that's where some longevity comes in. I'm gonna go into the campaign here, and we'll start up a game, and I'll show you some of the stuff here. So I have my team. Here's my team roster. There's stats, there's skills, there's this SPP thing. All of this is really important. Basically how it works is at the end of a game, in a league play, in the campaign it's not gotten to the point, but I imagine it will tutorialize this sort of stuff. In league play, so you're playing with other people, at the end of the game, certain actions will earn your character's SPP, and you use that to get more skills, to rank up, to up their stats, stuff like that. So your players get like progression. So I can see here he has 5 movement, 5 strength, 2 agility, 9 armor. And he's got these here, and he's got, looks like, room for 15 skills. By default he has 5. And if I was in a league, and not just in the regular campaign where I haven't been earning SPP yet, between games I would be able to level them up and get more and more stuff. So you can take really crucial players, depending on your race, and you can kind of, if they get touchdowns, if they get passes, and I think if they knock out or injure other people, I think it's injure, they have to injure other people, they'll get SPP. Also being the MVP at the end of a game earns you SPP. There's all sorts of stuff to get SPP. I'm going to go into a game, show you kind of how it plays. At some point I need to do that. But first I want you to listen to their banter here. Because these characters are really good.
It's the Nagaroth Nightmares, and there's already some controversy. What's going on down there, Bob?
According to our on-field reporter, Jock Strappy, the Dark Elves are outraged by the pre-game wine they've been offered. Apparently, you don't serve Dark Elves corked wine. Looks like another potential disaster for the head coach, Jim.
I can see that from here, Bob. Who drinks a robust red like that from a flute glass? What on earth is going on in the Reichland camp?
Is it game time, Jim?
It certainly is, Bob.
Alright. So we start to get into the match. Those guys are hilarious. I love watching the little cutscenes before we match in this story. They're an excellent addition.
Good evening to all you sports fans.
So there's a coin flip, which, again, I'm not watching any cutscenes, but the goblin will flip a coin, put it on his hand, and then he'll say, you'll either get to choose, if your team wins the flip, you get to choose whether to attack or defend. Defender chooses their formation first. I'm going to go with this, and then attacker chooses their formation after. There are 2 default formations. You can actually click people and move them around as much as you like after, but in the effort of showing off some actual Blood Bowl play, I'm going to, I'm going to not mess around with that. So here, my thrower is going to do the kickoff. I get to choose where it goes. You see that arrows are aiming off in every direction. Basically, anywhere I put this, it's going to go anywhere. I've put it here, and it's landed on my side of the field sometimes. I've put it like, I'll kick it over to like a guy here, and it'll end up landing over here sometimes. There's a lot of variance, and I think it's a racial-based thing, like certain race teams are better at doing kickoff and the ball going where it is, where they want it to go. And then even say I kick it to this guy, he still has to try and catch it, or he'll fumble it to the ground or something. In the effort of, I usually like to kick it to somebody close to me so I can clobber them out.
That's a great plan, Jim. Can't fail.
But you see there, it went out of bounds, so there's a touchback. Their coach gets to choose where it goes, and the Goblin throws it right to the guy. So he threw it to the guy on the end. This is tutorializing that I now have a bunch of different skills on all the characters. So, they play first, so we're just going to sit and watch them. While they take their turn, there are 8 playable races in the game. Humans, orcs, dwarves, Skaven, who are rat folk, high elves and dark elves, who I'm playing against now. I'm playing as humans. Chaos, and apparently the new Bretonnians, which my understanding was Bretonnians were the fantasy humans, so I'm not sure what the difference is. I think they're more like paladins. Mechanically, I don't really know the difference. I think they were in my last match, but I didn't really notice a whole difference outside of they're very squishy. Additionally, if you pre-order the game, which by the time you see this video it's too late, there are lizardmen. If you pre-order the game, you get to choose between either lizardmen or wood elves. I don't know why you would choose wood elves over lizardmen. You'd have to be insane. So there's technically 9 playable races if you pre-order the game. I assume at some point those 2 races will be available via DLC, and hopefully there will be more races available via DLC. As you might have seen earlier, I called my initial team just to see how team building worked Rhino Vampire counts, because I was really looking forward to playing as vampire counts. But I couldn't. There are no vampire counts. So instead I had to... Oh, and Slim Chance has been KO'd. I could use my Apothecary to make him just be stunned. I'm just going to skip it. It's not important. So maybe they can be offered as future DLC. I don't remember off the top of my head what the other fantasy races are. Is there a Tyranid equivalent in fantasy? I don't think so. I think Tyranid is like the 40k original race. But I don't think 40k has a Skaven alternative, so... Or a Lizardman one, really, do they? Maybe Tyranids and Lizardmen are the equivalent. Again, not the biggest Warhammer guy, but I've played it. So I was really looking forward to vampire counts, and they aren't here. But I'll have to make do with Chaos or Dark Elves or something. But for the single-player campaign, you have to play as humans. You are the coach of the Reichland Reavers. Down on the team, they're like at the bottom of the game, and you kind of have to bring them up here. It's a rags to riches story. So this is the Blood Bowl 1 camera angle. In the Blood Bowl 2 camera angle, the camera's like over in this corner, and you kind of move up and down the side here, and then like in and out. And it's not as nice as this one. There are some issues with like a big unit. Sometimes I can't tell if there's a guy on the other side. I have to zoom up and check, but it works. So controlling it is like really intuitive, really simple. I just click a guy like, say, this guy, click them, I say I want to attack them. You'll see the dice come up. That is because my unit has 2 strength here. That unit has 3 strength. So because I'm 1 strength lower, what happens is I roll 2 dice and my opponent picks the result that happens. If instead I were to bring one of my, say my thrower up here, then I'll go to my catcher and attack, and you see I'm getting 1 strength because my thrower is beside me, so now I'm just rolling 1 dice. Now we're even, so I roll 1 dice. If I right-click off of them, and left-click on somebody else and bring them up, now my catcher should have, yeah, he has +1 strength from 2 separate characters, so now I roll 2 dice. So I'm going to roll 2 dice.
This is going to be decisive.
I have a team reroll I can use. In fact, I have 4 of them. They refill at the half, so after 8 rounds each, you get all of your rerolls back. I'm quite fine with the results I've gotten. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, I think there's 5 or 6 different results on the dice. There's blue arrow, means I just push them. Yellow explosion means I knock them down, which is what I'm going to go for. There is skull, which means the attacker falls down. There's skull and explosion, which means both people fall down unless they have the block skill. And there's a blue explosion with an exclamation mark, which means it'll push them down unless they have the dodge skill, which catchers have. which means instead it's a push instead of a knockdown. And then all sorts of different characters will have different skills that they can use. And the other important thing you need to know is that when you click a player, before you make any of the moves, if you click them again... Oh shit, I can throw a teammate? Oh, I don't have anybody near me to throw. Okay. If you click, you can like click anywhere and you can preview your move. And then if you right click, you can re-preview your move. If you click in one place and then click again in another place, you're just adding to the move. If you click on a character before you moved, and you can't see it because Bonehead is in the way, so instead I'm going to click it here. There's a blitz, which means you get to make an attack and move. Normally you can only do one or the other. I'm going to blitz this guy. My ogre is strong, so I don't really need his help, but I'm going to take it. And he has block, not dodge, so this will knock him down. I'm going to push him up there, and I'm going to follow him so that now my ogre is supporting my blitzer on this attack. So there's a surprising amount of strategy involved in blitz. I keep wanting to call it blitzball. Here you see I have block, and she does not. She has dodge, though. So the both down is actually going to get blocked by my blitzer. This blitzer block that, so I just knock her right down. I do want to get some people on the ball, so I'm going to move... I can't really get people on the person with the ball without making a dodge. So I'm just going to move around and try and cut them off. Yeah, move. And then we'll have Zug, who's the only character I didn't name. Let's move up here, maybe. So the other thing is, at some point in the story mode, they tutorialize that if you ever have one of your characters get knocked down or drop the ball, there's a turnover. Your turn is over, and it goes to the opponent's turn. So prioritizing moves is really important, and once you click off of a player, their turn is done. Oh, I forgot I even had that guy. So if I look at this guy and I say, okay, I want to move here, and I want to attack that person, I have to blitz before I make my move. The game won't let you. You can't move and then blitz. So I'm going to say, okay, I want to blitz. I'm going to move here, and then if I say, oh, I'm not going to be strong enough, I want to move somebody over, it's too late. If I click off of this guy and have somebody else do something, he's already moved. Can't do it. Kind of lame, but at the same time, it focuses... it makes you really think through your plays instead of having to... Instead of being able to, like, kind of rewind. I've been playing a lot of Tactics Ogre on the PS Vita. The PSP game on my Vita. And the ability to hit left bumper and rewind your moves and keep trying for the ideal scenario really invalidates a lot of the strategy of the game. And this is the complete opposite of that spectrum in Blood Bowl. If you make a die roll and you're screwed out of it, and you don't have rerolls or something, you're hooped. Your whole turn can be lost. I've had turns where I want to go and set up like a cage around somebody so that they can't hit me while my guy's carrying the ball, and I also want to like knock a couple of their guys down, and I immediately go to pick up the ball and I fumble the ball and I reroll and I still fumble and now my turn is over or something like that. That stuff happens with surprising frequency. I want you to attack because you're going to be way better at it.
The attacker has an assist.
You see here, now I can't knock them down. I'm actually going to reroll just for the purposes of the video. And because they have dodge, the other one is just going to get pushed. So I'm going to knock them down. I'll follow them, because why not? And then there's one other thing I'm going to try here, and that is a foul.
What's that?
Boom. Stun. So you can foul, you can knock somebody who's down. I think it's mission 5, you learn that. It's the last mission. Because the last mission was all about taking people out of the game. And from the Blood Bowl I've seen, a lot of it comes down to... It's not... Like, most games are 1-0. You don't knock somebody... You don't just, like, get the ball and then make an excellent play and move around all the enemies and get into the end zone and score a touchdown. Instead, you do this. You hit somebody, they get injured, they're taken out of the game, Over there. In fact, is he dead? I think I might have killed him. Normally it's like a red plus sign, like a medical sign when they're injured. I think I killed him. Cool. He's dead. Which is what I was going for there, because my goal is to get the witch elves, which there's only 2 of, and there's one there, and I think the other one is this woman over here, so we'll hit her. Yeah, we'll hit her that way, and we'll follow her. No, no luck. Okay. They've got a lot of people ready to try and, so I'm going to try and make a pass here. I'm going to use you to blitz on that person.
This player likes
I'm
to
going to
be
hope
well
you succeed,
assisted.
yes. Yes, choose the dice. And move you over near the ogre where you can really get, oh, I shouldn't have followed, I should have stayed. Alright, so we're going to have Zug make his way over here. Over here, yeah. Oh, okay, there's no need for him. I can get over here, and now he won't be able to move without trying to get, having to dodge Zug here. And I think the rest of this, I'm going to try and keep them stuck here. But yeah, so like I was saying, Blood Bowl isn't usually decided, like, yes, it's a game is objectively decided by touchdowns, but you don't aim for touchdowns a lot of the time. Some races do. I guess I want to say flimsier races, Skaven, Elves, they'll aim for touchdowns. Humans, Orcs, Dwarves especially, will instead aim for overwhelming field advantage. My last game I finished, there was 1 player on the opposing team, and I won 1-0. I got the touchdown 2 turns from the end of the game. That's how Blood Bowl is normally played. You just, at least that's the way I like to play Blood Bowl, is you just clobber the crap out of your opponent. I guess maybe I shouldn't be looking forward to vampire accounts. Maybe I should just be conceding to playing orcs and dwarves, but I want to play vampire accounts. I really enjoy Blood Bowl. Like, I can't I've already told my friends, you guys gotta get Blood Bowl. We gotta start Blood Bowl League. I want to be playing Blood Bowl every goddamn night. Everybody go buy Blood Bowl. Like, I recommend Blood Bowl. It's a lot of fun. It's definitely my kind of jam. Fantasy, like, it's literally fantasy football. The team management stuff is really interesting. I'll probably start my own, like, versus AI league just to play around with it some more once I finish the campaign, because I really enjoyed Blood Bowl. There are some other little tricks you can do, pushing a person offside, or out the side of the, oh geez, she's making a run for it. Out the side of the arena, you kind of feed them to the audience. There are little events that can pop up when you, on kickoff, where the crowd rushes in and they just try and kill all the players. They beat the shit out of your players. Half your players on each team are injured. Here you see the enemy using a reroll. I don't know if they used a reroll or not, but they tripped there. They tripped them because they tried to run through me, and now they got a turnover, so their turn is over, which means Zug gets to beat the shit out of this guy, first and foremost. Zug's going to give him the punch. He doesn't have dodge. He has 1 SPP. I guess we are getting SPP now, because of the... Ooh, I'm going to stay. I'm going to try something here. I'm going to knock him down. Ball's going to go down there. I'm going to stand you up.
Just like old times, Jim.
And I'm going to have you...
I feel like
no,
we're
you.
back in the glory days.
The lineman's going to punch you. I'm going to knock you down. And we will follow you. You're going to attack there. Crush their lineman who can't dodge you. You're going to go backwards. You're going to follow something pinned between you and Zug. The troll is going to go here, so that neither of those two can really afford to be getting up. I'm going to take a look around down here. I got to do something about what's going on over here. First of all, you need to get up. That's a given. You should probably come help your buddy out. Have I used my blitz yet? I haven't. I should have used it with him. Oh, 1 strength is not enough, and I'm comfortable with that. Instead, I'm going to have you pick up the ball, or try to anyway.
Quick and easy.
I've got it. I'm going to make my way over here. And if I throw to you, yeah, let's try it. Let's get wild and crazy because we're all good here. Try. Oh, he's going to fumble it. We're going to use a reroll. He makes the pass.
But can they capitalize?
And they did it. Okay, so now he has the ball. So you're going to make a run for the end zone. Just because I want to clobber them so that there's less guys later doesn't mean I don't want to try and score here. And it looks like I'm too far for them to really get at me. This guy might be able to blitz at me, but I think I'm okay. So yeah, the way I like to play Blood Bowl is you clobber all your points. You have 16 rounds you have to go through. Blood Bowl games, they're not short. That's definitely a downside. It's not like an Isaac game where you can just pick it up, play it for a couple minutes, and then put it down. You have to... Oh, jeez, there she goes. I really wish somebody had hit her there.
Like a tadpole, the skink slips.
Oh, she got the knockdown.
Not far from the end zone.
Well, on the upside, I can just go pick that ball up. What's going on over here? Knocking me down there. Yep. The way I much prefer it is to cripple the enemy team. The less resistance they can put up, the better. So, yes, you can do really interesting plays, and maybe once I play with some of the more interesting races like Skaven or Elves, I'll change my mind and I'll like playing them. But right now, I definitely prefer the Orc, Ogre style, where I take my big guy, I smash you, and you're dead. You don't get to come back onto the field because you're injured, or you're dead, or you're knocked out, or what have you. For instance, this guy, we're knocking him off. Oh, we're not knocking him off. I'm going to reroll because I really wanted to knock this guy off. There we go. Can I not? Oh, it's on the... Lame. The ref is in the way, so I can't knock him out. Well, they're out anyway. So that person, yeah, that person is injured. You need to stand up regardless of what happens here. I would like you to clobber this guy, and I'm going to have the Zug try and let's punch you. We'll punch you, and we'll try and knock you off the battlefield. Feed you to the crowd. He's stunned, so that means he won't be able to get up there. I won't be able to get Zug over there immediately. We can get you... I'll have you blitz. This guy. Clobber as many people as possible. You only get to do 1 blitz a turn. You only get to do 1 foul a turn. You only get to do 1 pass a turn. Those are all resources you have to... Anmal is dead.
Oh dear. Expensive to replace.
Boom, I killed another one. Let's foul this guy. Oh, there's no good odds about you. Yeah, it's okay, whatever. Oh, and Timber has been sent off. So there's was a 42% chance that the ref wouldn't actually do his job and catch him. You see that, I think it was Bob there actually said, or Jim actually said, the ref did his job because it's part of the humor of Blood Bowls. The sport isn't actually about playing football. It's about fighting under the guise of playing football. Fouls are accepted, and the crowd complains when the ref calls your guy off the team. When you try and do a go for it, where you have an 83% chance to trip and fall on your face, the crowd cries out when you succeed and you don't trip. They get upset. I really like the flavor of Blood Bowl. I really dig it. I really like the concept. I haven't tried it yet, but I like the concept of league play, the idea of having a team that gets to manage and progression. Maybe I should just play Football Manager. Who knows? But I really dig it. I'm probably not going to play through to the end of the game. Maybe we'll play... see if I can't get a touchdown in the next turn or so. Oh, maybe I can knock this witch off the pitch here. First things first, I need to blitz this guy. So you come here. You're gonna back up Zug. Zug,
This could be a sack.
I want you blitzing that witch. Blitz them so hard.
They'll need to get rid of the ball. Now there's pressure on them.
I have blocks, so I can knock her down with this. It won't knock her towards the end, but it'll injure her, which gets her off the thing, which works for my quest too. Yep, 1 of the 2, and now the ball is on the ground, and because I blitzed, I can roll to pick it up. I'm going to see if Zug can pick it up. I'm going to re-roll to see if you can try again. I don't know why it's telling me about Loner. No. Oh, does Zug have Loner? I didn't know Zug had Loner too. I know the Ogre has Loner, which is some sort of... It's a negative skill. There are negative skills outside of block, dodge, stuff like that. There are negative skills. I know the Orcs have a Troll unit who's functionally the Ogre. Big, lumbering, slow, strong guy, where they will... They have a chance to... I think it's called Really Stupid, where every time they try and do something, they have to roll a really stupid check, and if they fail, they'll do nothing. Loner, I think, makes you fail your rerolls. Like, you just fail to actually reroll. Just take the team reroll and not do it. No, there we go. I tripped a guy because he tried to go through me, and they just gave up. They're going to let him stay down. Which gets me to turn over. So here, we're going to have you blitz. Go for the knockdown. 2 dice is usually an acceptable place to be making rolls at. I'm going to knock you towards the edge. And we'll follow you. And where's the ball gone? There. So Zug, I'd like you to pick up the ball. And this time I'd like you to succeed. Even if it's only a coin flip. Nope, he failed again. So we're going to turn over. That's okay. And now you see I've wasted like 8 other moves I could have made, so I should have been thinking around. I should have been, okay, Zug will pick up the ball last in case he fails and I lose my turn. At least I've done all the other moves. I could have had him attack, could have stood him up, I could have had the Ogre clobber somebody. All these moves I wasn't making, and that was a really lucky trip. I was going to try and rewind it with a reroll. And now he succeeds, okay. But he fumbles the ball, so turn over. I think here we're going to have Zug clobber this guy. Zug clobber that guy. Already has a strength advantage on him. We're just going to push him out of the way. You're going to knock him down. You have blocks, so you won't fall down there. And then we'll have you blitz Elf.
Fair fights can be so overrated.
Knock her
There's
down.
always room in sport for
Let's knock her down over there and we'll follow. I'd like you to hit him. Oh, that's something I wish I could reroll, but can't. So now my guy's getting knocked down, and that's a turnover because my guy fell down. And I mean, that's a lot of how it goes. In multiplayer, if you're playing against another person, it's only harder because now you have to... You see here that I have an infinite timer. If you're playing with another person, computer has an infinite time to mess around with you, and if you're playing alone, you can decide when to stop. There is no mid-game save, which is a feature I wish existed, but doesn't. She's gotten close to the pitch. Can you make the bullets over there? You can't. Alright, let's have Zug smash. You. She has dodge, so she's just gonna be pushed with this. But it's enough that I can get between her and the ball. You're going to take your 1-die attack and get it, so I'm going to push you towards Zug and follow. And he's dead. Perfect. So at the very least, even if in the next... Actually, yes, the first half is over at the end of this turn. I'm on the last turn, so if I don't get a touchdown this turn, that's fine. Because it doesn't matter. I'm gonna go into the second half, and it looks like they're not rendering the models properly, but it looks like they have 1 replacement unit, and I've killed 4 or 5 guys, so I don't see them, when it's 11-7, having very good odds against me. I'm going to blitz this guy here. So at this point, it's more practical to, instead of focusing on getting any touchdowns or anything, to just clobber the enemy. Weaken their team for the next half, get a numbers advantage on them, and then it doesn't matter what I do. Or at some point I just get to pick up the ball and walk it over to the end zone, because if there's nobody to stop me, there's nobody to stop me kind of thing. Which I really enjoy that that's like an avenue you can take in a football game, and it's flavored so well. The writing in the game is so excellent. It only makes it better. Alright, so we knock him down, and then he's not going to be able to get anybody because I'm out of a blitz. You can make one attack. I say we just go ballsy. Let him pick.
It's just crazy.
We both fall down one. And we're going to turn over. That's the end of the first half. And that's basically Blood Bowl. I can pretty much guarantee that I'm going to win this game. After this recording is done, I will finish it because I do want to progress my story. And you'll see here that they have now, what, 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They have 6 people on their team. I still have a full 11. So I almost outnumber them 2 to 1. The odds that they're going to A, get the ball into my end zone, or B, stop me from getting my ball in theirs, are pretty low. Especially since they're kicking the ball to me. So I like my odds here. Basically, that's Blood Bowl. I really like it. I mean, I can't say a whole lot about it. I can complain that there isn't a full active representation about all the races in Warhammer Fantasy. I wish vampire counts were in here. I don't know a whole lot about Warhammer Fantasy. I'm sure there's other races that aren't being represented. I can complain about lizardmen or wood elves as a pre-order bonus. I feel like if you're going to offer pre-order bonuses, don't make the pre-order bonus the option to pick one of 2 bonuses. That seems like twice as scummy. But I mean, it's 2 more races. There's already 8. I have a hard time believing that you would really need a 9th race on top of the 8, unless you really want to play lizardmen or you really want to play wood elves. And wood elves, I mean, they're just more elves. I think they do have some cool, interesting things to them, which I'm sure once I look into, I'll regret complaining about that now. But the whole pre-order culture thing is something that is toxic and shouldn't be a thing. And to not immediately have them available as DLC on release, I don't think, is also kind of scummy to make them wait. I understand that if you make the player wait, it increases the longevity of the game. Somebody will come back to it once a new race is available as DLC that they couldn't get because they didn't pre-order it, kind of thing. Sure, I see that. That's fine. Whatever. I just wish they'd be available right away. And honestly, I think they should have just been included in the game. But that's just my opinion. I'd like to see more races come out later. Obviously, they'll be DLC. I wish I could say they should be free DLC, but they probably won't be. And the controls, they're a little unresponsive at times. Sometimes I have some problems where I'll click here and I'll be like, okay, I want to attack you. And then it'll like give me my preview. It won't now because I'm in setup, and then I'll be like, oh no, I don't want to, I'll go here. And then it'll be like, oh, do you want to pass? I'm like, no, I don't want to pass. So I have to like right click over here and like left clicks in there. You have to do a couple extra clicks. It's a little finicky. It's not so much that it's really a problem at all, but I mean, if I'm going to find something to gripe about, it's that. Basically, my only gripes are complete lack of, like, it's not all the Warhammer Fantasy races in here. It's not, there's the awful pre-order stuff, and I wish there was, like, I wish there were a little more units in it, but that might just be, I don't think they really need a little more units. Every race has 3 to 5-ish units, I think, but shredding death sounds like a jam. Yeah, I really enjoy it. I mean, I guess if you don't really have anybody to play with, is it worth picking up? Maybe in that case not. I mean, if you really like football, yeah, but I'd have to imagine Football Manager is better if all you want is football. If you want a visceral, hilarious fantasy, like literally fantasy football, then go with Blood Bowl. Blood Bowl's great. Can't recommend it enough. yeah, that's my 2 cents. I wish, if there any problems I could highlight, I wish they didn't do the offer pre-order thing. I wish there were more races. I don't necessarily wish there were more races. I just wish if you were going to have more races, have all the races. I think that's it, really. That's Blood Bowl. It's really good. If you're at all interested in Warhammer, if you're interested in the concept of a visceral fantasy football game, if you like football, if you like tactics even, give it a shot. It's
I think it is.
really, really good. Thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it. If you liked the video, show your support, press the like button, subscribe to the channel. I'll have more reviews, let's plays, walkthroughs, all that stuff going up. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.